Snow fell heavy on Chicago that night, swirling in gusts that rattled windows and cut through coats that were far too thin. On a corner near West Madison Street, 3 children sat huddled together beneath the weak glow of a broken streetlight. Maya, only 12, wrapped her arms protectively around her younger brothers, Jaden and Malik. Their breath came in faint, visible clouds, the bitter air clawing at their faces. None of them had eaten since the morning before. The growl of their stomachs seemed louder than the passing traffic. Jaden rubbed his frozen hands together. "Maya," he whispered, "I'm so hungry it hurts." She pulled him closer, pressing his head against her shoulder. "I know, Jay, I know. Just hold on." Malik, the youngest at 6, clutched a broken toy car, his lips trembling. "Why don't they help us?" he asked softly, pointing at the stream of strangers who hurried past them into the brightly lit diner across the street. Inside, laughter floated out as people shared hot meals, but no one stopped. No one looked. Maya bit her lip hard, willing herself not to cry. She was the oldest now. She had to be strong. Across the street, through the wide diner windows, a man sat alone at a corner booth. His name was Elijah Brooks. To the world, he was a billionaire tech mogul, the genius who built an empire of software and global investments. But tonight, he wore only a dark overcoat, a wool cap pulled low. He had slipped away from the noise of business meetings and headlines, hoping for a quiet meal. Instead, his gaze had locked on the 3 children outside. Their thin bodies shivering against the brick wall stirred something raw in him. Because once, many years ago, Elijah had been one of them, cold, hungry, invisible. He rose slowly, leaving his half-finished meal behind, and stepped into the storm. Snow crunched beneath his polished shoes as he crossed the street. Maya noticed him first. Her muscles stiffened. She shoved her brothers behind her. "Stay back," she said, her voice sharp, despite the fear inside her. Elijah stopped a few feet away, keeping his hands where they could see them. His deep voice was calm, gentle. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said. "I saw you sitting out here. You look cold and hungry." Jaden's eyes flickered with hope, but Maya held him tighter. "People say that, then call the police. We can't go back into foster homes. They'll split us up." Elijah's chest tightened. He crouched, lowering himself to their level. Snowflakes clung to his beard, his dark eyes steady on theirs. "Listen to me," he said softly. "I know what it feels like to be hungry. I know what it feels like to be scared. When I was a boy, I slept on sidewalks just like this one. But someone once helped me when I thought nobody would. Tonight, I want to do that for you." The children exchanged nervous glances. Malik sniffled, clutching his toy car. "Promise you won't call nobody?" "I promise," Elijah said without hesitation. "I'll protect you, all of you, together." Something in his voice steady, unbreakable made Maya pause. She studied him, searching for any sign of deception. But all she saw was sincerity. Finally, her shoulders loosened. "Okay," she whispered. Elijah extended his gloved hand. Slowly, hesitantly, Maya placed her freezing fingers into it. Jaden and Malik followed, stumbling to their feet. He led them into the diner. The warm air hit their faces like fire, making their eyes water. Conversations hushed. Forks clattered onto plates. The children's ragged clothes drew stares of disapproval. The manager, a stocky man with flushed cheeks, rushed over. "Sir, I'm sorry, but..." Elijah cut him off with a look that carried quiet authority. "These kids are with me. Bring us a table, and bring them hot food. Now." The manager faltered, then nodded quickly. Within minutes, steaming bowls of chicken soup, fresh bread, and hot chocolate filled the table. The children devoured the food, their hunger overwhelming their caution. Elijah didn't rush them. He simply watched, a faint smile tugging at his lips. When Malik finally leaned back, his face messy with crumbs, he whispered, "Thank you, mister. You don't need to thank me." Elijah said gently, "Just eat. Get warm." Maya finally slowed her spoon, her suspicious eyes never leaving him. "Why are you helping us?" she asked. Elijah leaned forward. "Because someone once helped me, and because no child should ever feel invisible. Not on my watch." For the first time that night, Maya's face softened. That was only the beginning. After the meal, Elijah guided them to his sleek black SUV waiting outside. Maya hesitated, clutching her brothers. "You'll stay together," Elijah assured her. "You have my word." Something in the way he said it broke through her last wall of fear. She nodded. The drive took them away from the harsh city lights, toward the quiet suburbs where Elijah's estate stood, a sprawling mansion of stone and glass glowing warmly against the snow. Inside, the children's eyes widened. Marble floors, chandeliers, walls lined with books. It was unlike anything they had ever known. Elijah's longtime housekeeper, Mrs. Evelyn Carter, gasped when she saw them. "Oh, Lord, have mercy," she whispered, rushing to fetch blankets and warm pajamas. That night, after hot baths and soft beds, the children slept together in a room bigger than their old apartment. Elijah stood in the doorway, watching their small bodies rise and fall in unison. Memories of his own childhood, cold nights, hunger, loneliness rose inside him like ghosts. He made a vow then. These children would never be alone again. The days that followed began to change everything. Maya, still cautious, carried herself like a protector. She shadowed Mrs. Carter in the kitchen, learning how to cook warm meals. Jaden discovered the library, his hands running over books he had never seen before. Malik filled the garden with laughter, chasing birds across the snow. Slowly, the fear in their eyes began to fade. Elijah worked quietly in the background. Using his vast resources, he investigated their past. He discovered their mother, Angela Johnson, had died months before of a sudden illness. Their stepfather, a violent man, had abandoned them to the streets. Anger surged through Elijah, but he kept it hidden. The children had suffered enough. What they needed now was safety and justice. One evening, Maya approached him with a small tin box she had hidden in her coat. Inside were scraps of paper, a faded photo of their mother, and a note she had written before she died. "Take care of each other," the note read. "One day, someone will see you." Tears burned Elijah's eyes as he folded the paper carefully. "Your mother was right," he said softly, "and she was talking about me. I see you, and I'm not letting go." Weeks turned into months. Court battles were fought. Social workers questioned Elijah's motives, but when the truth of his wealth, influence, and determination came to light, the ruling was clear. Elijah Brooks was granted full guardianship of Maya, Jaden, and Malik. The day the judge announced it, the three children clung to him, their sobs of relief muffled against his chest. "You'll never be taken away again," Elijah whispered firmly. "You're mine now, my family." In time, the Brooks mansion filled with life. Mornings began with laughter over breakfast. Afternoons brought lessons, games, and quiet moments in the library. Evenings ended with stories by the fireplace, the children's eyes glowing with wonder. But Elijah's promise went further. He launched the Angela Johnson Foundation, named after their late mother. Its mission, to provide food, shelter, and education for children abandoned or neglected, especially those at risk of being separated from their siblings. At the foundation's first public event, Maya stood on stage beside Elijah, her brothers at her side. She spoke into the microphone with trembling hands but a steady voice. "We know what it feels like to be hungry," she said. "We know what it feels like to be forgotten. But we also know what it feels like when someone doesn't give up on you. That's why we're here, to make sure no other kid feels invisible." The audience rose to their feet in thunderous applause. Elijah rested a proud hand on her shoulder. Years later, people would remember that freezing night on West Madison Street, not as the night 3 children were abandoned, but as the night their lives changed forever. Because one man chose to stop, one man chose to see them, and in that choice, a family was born, not by blood, but by love stronger than anything else in the world. The world knew Elijah Brooks as a billionaire. But to Maya, Jaden, and Malik, he would always be something far greater.